Okay, I'll take you to the security related. Now, what we are doing here is, this is your laptop. Once you install SQL Server, your laptop has become DB server.
Okay.
Your laptop now can also be called as a DB server.
Yeah.
Okay, because you install DB services. So how you are logging into the DB server with your login details, right? With your login, whatever the login is, login password or PIN or thumb impression, anything, whatever it is, you are able to log into the DB server, means desktop, your laptop. As I told, it is termed as a DB server from now. You are able to log into the laptop, right? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Able to hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. So you are able to log into the DB server. Once you are able to log into the laptop, means you are able to log into the DB server. I showed you previously how we can connect to a DB server in live with the help of a IP address, with the help of any name. Okay, why I am calling that as a DB server? It is also having DB installed on this server, but it is having a different IP address. So instead of using our local, we are trying to connect with the help of our IP address, right? Remote desktop connection, remote desktop.
No,
So
you can't
now,
show. You did not
what
show
is that?
connecting to the database.
Where?
No, you did not show connecting. Like you were telling, connecting to the database using IP and
No,
RDP
not the data. I showed you on that day, right?
server.
Second class, connecting to the server.
Connecting to the server from SSMS, sir.
Connecting to the RDP. I showed you one IP address.
Yeah. I remember. You need to enter the password as well.
Yeah, IP
Yeah.
address, DB admin, password. I entered into the server.
Yeah. I remember.
Okay, I have a recording links also. I will share it to you. You can
Okay.
review. Okay.
Yeah.
And the same way, if my server is having DB services,
Okay.
your server is also having DB services.
Okay.
If I want to connect to your laptop, I need the IP address of your laptop, which is a public IP address.
Okay.
Why? Now I am telling your laptop is a DB server where DB is running. I want to connect to your DB laptop called as DB server with the help of IP address. If it is allowed on your local laptop, I will be able to connect to your laptop with the use of public IP address. Okay.
Yeah, bro.
The same way, database servers can also be anywhere on the globe. If I have a public IP address and the connections are allowed, I will be able to connect to that server. When I can connect, if I have the details of the Windows means your laptop is having Windows. I need Windows login. The one you log into your laptop are called Windows login, means you are logging into the Windows operating system login, right? So once you enter your email or login or password, you will be able to enter into the DB server. Now, this is your DB services. DB services, it is running. Okay. So if you don't have access on the DB services, are you able to perform any activity in your laptop? Think your DB services is running. and you don't have access on that. Can you perform any other activities like opening Windows, opening Word, opening any desk, opening browser? Can you perform?
No.
You can perform, right?
Apart from the DB activities, I can perform other activities.
That's what I'm. DB is this box. Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
We are
yeah, I
not
can.
doing outside of this. Outside of the DB, you are able to perform all the activities in your laptop
Yes.
other than connecting to the DB. If you don't have access. So if you don't have access, you can open Word, you can open AnyDesk, you can open Excel. Can you open SQL? Can you connect to SQL?
No.
No, because you don't have access. You have access to open Word, you have access to open AnyDesk, you have access to open Excel, but you don't have access to open DB services. You don't have access to connect to the DB. Reason is your Windows authentication is having access on this, but not on the DB. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I need to do,
To get the.
I need to give access to the DB server. Okay, I need to give access to the DB server. You logged in with Windows login, right? Windows login. So if you want to give access, you will have two types. One is Windows authentication. You can add access to DB. Okay. Now think that you want to access the DB. Okay. So you need to provide access on the DB services. Okay. So while doing installation, what we are doing, we are adding the current user to the DB access also. While installation, you saw, right?
Yes.
Windows authentication,
And current user.
mixed authentication, right? So
Yes.
Windows authentication, if I select, it is asking to select the user. What I am doing add current user. That user is a Windows authenticated user. Now you are able to use Word, you are able to use AnyDesk, you are able to connect to DB also, because this Windows authentication is having access on the DB. You have access on these applications, you have access on the DB also. How you got the access? While installation, you added your Windows authentication, should have access on the DB also. Okay.
Yeah.
If I have that, then here you are seeing a Windows authentication. If my ID, this ID, during installation, I added this Windows authentication. Windows authentication is disabled. It is disabled. You cannot check. Why? You are logged in with one Windows authentication, which is this one. So you can access with this one only. You cannot change here because it is mapped from the Windows. It is mapped from the login which I logged in into the database server. If I want to use a different thing, I need to log. If I want to